5 minutes for people to join.
5 minutes.
A couple of minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Everyone.
Saturday night. I think I'm going out. Yeah.
No. Yeah. There we go. You got your deck of cards.
Yeah.
So you shuffling the entire
I just
time.
Need to fiddle around. So.
Yeah.
It's very true to the username, I think.
Two of spades. How about that? The deck of cards. Okay. Welcome everyone. Stream is live. Let's just wait 1 second just to get things started. Where's my water? Here it is. All right. And everyone is muted. Beautiful. Oh, is this your Be Real? There we go.
No, this is from my friend.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's for the streaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Are we ready to get started?
Let's go. And also excuse this, I'm doing laundry right now.
That's alright.
We literally just came back up with some laundry right now. Okay. Welcome everyone. This is the Figure Skating Podcast with our very special guest today, Jimmy Ma. The show is generally a Q&A for our community where figure skaters can ask figure skaters and people in the figure skating community questions about their life, skating, and generally just about them. It's hosted live on our Discord, so if you're wondering where we're doing this, it's in the Figure Skating Discord. If you're watching later on YouTube or something, there'll be a link down in the description for that. Yeah, everyone's encouraged to send in some questions and have a good time with Jimmy here. So, Jimmy Ma is known for a number of things. My favorite, his amazing personality on and off the ice. He is the 2018 CSUS International Figure Skating Classic Bronze Medalist, the Philadelphia Summer International Silver Medalist, and the 2021 Cranberry International Silver Medalist. So, welcome, Jimmy. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, guys. Not too bad, actually.
That's all right. Great. So, we might as well get started with the first question. From Tez, our good friend from back in England. Tez says, your music is always good, but unconventional. So how do you choose it? And what do you consider about a song before deciding to skate to it?
So, like, a lot of the times it's more like, I kind of have an idea of what I want to do.
Yeah.
For example, like this year for free program, I'm like, okay, I really want to kind of go back to my roots, really break it down at the end of the program. And I kind of just chose that music first, but I'm like, that's probably going to be the last 45 seconds, maybe a minute. And I kind of want to just build a program around that.
Yeah.
So I asked Adam, and I'm like, okay, let's just play with this. And we did some cool choreography and whatnot. And then I went to Nikolai, who's my longtime choreographer. And what we basically do is we kind of just start messing around on the ice, right? We start playing with steps. We start making footworks, whatever. I just, real time. And then we see like, okay, what music would go well with the music that I want, and also with the choreography. So like that's just like one of the things, right? The second thing is just like, something like, okay, like but this year again, a short program in League of Legends is like,
yes.
I'm very peculiar. I'm very peculiar about what I like to listen to. Mm-hmm. And then like once in a while I find like this song that it's just like great. And my stupid figure skating head always goes to, can I skate to this? Like that's always the first thing that comes.
think
Is, okay, can I skate? To it? It's a
everyone
blessing
thinks
and
that. Everyone who
yeah,
skates is like, damn, this is a good song. Can I skate to this?
yeah, absolutely. So it was just like in the back of my head, and then I was talking with Benoit. We were kind of going back and forth with music ideas. This worked, that didn't work, and
Yeah.
it's just like okay. I sent him that. He's like, nope, this is it. So I think like the gist of it is kind of I really want to put my like personality out there on the ice, right? Like what I
Yeah.
like, what I don't like. Who you see out there is who you get out here. Right?
Okay.
Whether it's serious, like with Attack on Titan, I want the freaking world to know that I like. Look at this, like I got a Kakashi tattoo right there.
Wow.
Right?
Oh wow,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
and
nice.
I just really like to be like this is who I am,
Yeah.
and I think music is a really really good way to kind of portray that, especially when I can't speak. So
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true.
there's that.
So, said you're an anime fan. Claire and I wanted to ask, we're big fans of League of Legends ourselves. Do you play?
No,
You don't
Oh.
play?
that game is okay. I tried.
Oh
right?
no.
That
You
game
tried.
is toxic. That
It is. It is. It is.
the
That's fair enough.
learning curve is so steep, and everybody is so mean. And I'm like, it just discouraged me so much that I just
Oh,
rage
right.
quit and I deleted the game. But I watched like all the media that comes with it is actually really really dope, especially the show.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Arcane.
Arcane. Yeah, great show. Shout out to
Yeah.
Arcane.
Oh.
It's like they're more of like they're kind of a game company, but they're also like producing this like crazy good high quality like stuff.
Music.
So-
Their music team is insane.
Yeah.
Well, as you
cinematics
know,
and
with
everything.
Yeah,
your
with
Warriors,
Warriors.
program.
Yeah. Well, if you want to learn, hit us up. We're pros at the game.
For sure, for sure.
All right. And I can agree with you there. I feel like literally we talked like 10 minutes before we started this, and your personality on the ice really mirrors your personality off. I feel lots of energy and like strength. Like it's good.
Appreciate that, man.
Okay. So here's a question from us actually. A bit deeper than the League of Legends talk. What are some things that you do to help with your mental health and stay healthy while competing at like this high level that you are now?
So yeah, this is a difficult one because
Yeah.
people are what you're thinking this year is not going to be what you're thinking next year, and what you're thinking now is very different from what was before. And I guess like one big thing is like find a hobby.
Yeah.
um like something you're genuinely passionate about, right?
What's yours? Anime?
For me, like yeah, and then there's cooking. I really
Cooking.
really like cooking. Excuse my dog. She's
No, that's
Aw.
perfect. Oh my god, she's so cute.
her name's Winry, by the way. If you've ever watched Full Metal Alchemist.
Winry.
Yeah, and aside from that is like for me, I just remember like there was a time where I was like, oh, I was skating or coaching. I was just at the rink like
Mhm.
7, 8, 9 days in a row, and then I'm like, all right, I'm taking this day off and I'm spending all day cooking.
Mhm.
Wow.
Kind of like that. And a lot of the times it's good and bad because there's like there's nobody around and I'm just thinking, and I sometimes I tend to overthink, but sometimes I think into a conclusion of something,
Yeah.
which yeah, which is sometimes like it's healthier for me. Like it helps me get that mental block out of there, and also at the end of the day, I get to eat good food.
You do. You do.
Exactly.
Wait, so like what do you like what's like your favorite dish or like favorite like culinary style? Like Claire and I like a lot of French food. We also like a lot of I love like Chinese food.
hmm So like most of the time, like easy stuff is Chinese. You just have a bunch of ingredients and you just stir fry it with rice.
Yeah, usually tastes pretty good as well.
Yeah, yeah. I tried putting MSG in there. I didn't like it. I didn't like
Really?
it at all.
Wow,
Like, this ain't for me.
that's a secret ingredient most of the time.
What, MSG and
Yeah.
like 5 spice?
MSG and 5-spice, honestly, that's my secret ingredient. But
Some
Alright.
people like it, some people don't. I think when I put it into it, I don't know. Maybe it's just
you might put in too much. You only need a bit.
maybe, or maybe I'm just not as good as a chef as a cook as I think I am.
Nah, I'm sure you're good.
um, but like that's just the easy stuff. But like obviously, I learned a lot of French techniques. Watching YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Learning how to deglaze, base, do a bain marie, all that stuff, right?
Wow.
Searing. So like, there's a lot of technique in that, and it's just kind of most of the time I just kind of bastardize a lot of things. Like I use like tech like a French technique or an Italian technique, and I use that to like cook Asian.
Some like fusion stuff.
Yeah,
That's a good
and it's
idea.
just like
It
whatever I
works.
could come up with, whatever I see in my fridge. I'm like, I'm trying to think, and that's also what makes it interesting coming back home after a long day. Is like I could finally just not think about skating
Yeah.
and come back and think about nourishing myself and my roommate. Which brings me to the next point, which is, I guess, finding a good support group.
Yeah.
People who you genuinely genuinely trust, and who just genuinely love you, right? None of that fake stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think for a lot of younger skaters, younger people in general, like teenagers, it's always a big thing about fitting in,
Yeah.
right? And I fell into that trap as well. And basically what I learned throughout, like I just celebrated, I just turned 27, and so I'm an old guy. Right? And what I kind of learned was, like, if you just yourself and you be yourself and you're your real self and you're just a decent human being to people, you don't really need to be part of somebody else's inner circle. There will be people that gravitate towards you, and I feel like you start to learn and you start to figure out, and you can weed out what you don't need in your life. And if they're ever watching this is a shout out to you guys, because I don't think I still be skating this year, or I would have finished last season if it wasn't for them. Like, my roommate Misha, we saw the worst of each other last year. Like, it was Olympic season.
Yeah.
We were just competing every other week. Training was a pain in the ass. Like, it was just difficult, right? And we were there for each other. And my best friend lives in Colorado, and she's just a call away, and she came out to watch me at nationals.
Okay.
And uh, the people I train with, and they all knew how much nationals meant to me. I knew I wasn't going to go to the Olympics anyways, but they knew how difficult it was for me, and they knew like how hard I trained for it. And I skated like absolute crap in the free skate.
Yeah.
And they stood up for me anyways. And when I turned and I saw them when I was bowing, like, I knew at that moment in time everything was going to be okay. Like, it sucked, but I knew everything was going to be okay. I was going back to people that loved me. And even though it wasn't going to be easy, it kind of, like, I knew I could move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like,
Oh. Jimmy? Seems Jimmy's having a little trouble. Hey, you are.
Yeah, can you still see me or hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see. Hey, you
there
are.
you go.
What happened there?
Hey, we're back.
I don't know. Like, my thing just like crashed for a second and then just popped
okay.
back up. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, I think that's like what you're saying is so important, not only for like being, a competitive athlete, but also just like anything in life, those two things, like having a support network and then having like hobbies and things that you can do separate from like the most central part of your life almost. And so yeah, so thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, it was a great
No
words,
problem.
honestly. Wow. You want to take the next one, Claire?
Yeah, sure. So this one is a question about skating and kind of like hitting walls in skating. So everyone at some point will hit a wall or really get frustrated with how they're doing in terms of their skating. And so I'm curious as to what these experiences are like for you, and how you kind of work with them and kind of work through them in order to continue.
So I think the biggest thing is don't compare yourself.
Mm-hmm.
For
You
sure.
could
Yeah.
always think about what your competitors are doing, what your friends are doing, but you never really know what they're really up to,
Yeah.
right? Like they may be even hitting a worse wall. So like it's not. I think the biggest thing is like it's not hitting the wall. It's like after hitting the wall and like it's what you do to yourself in your head,
Right.
right? I've been through that. Like everybody's been through that, right? And then you're like, oh my god, I can't be here because everybody else is improving. A B C D E F G, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when it really sucks.
Yeah, it
Um,
does. I feel like, especially in skating as well, like it's so defined, like levels almost. Like it's like, can this person land this jump? And like I feel like for every skater can relate. It's like, oh, like you're seeing people doing these jumps on this ice, and like you're comparing yourself all the time. So
Yeah, it's very easy to.
yeah, like for me, I like it's more of a competition against myself to be better than I used to be, rather than being like, oh, this person can land this jump, so I'm just bad at skating.
yeah, yeah. I remember back in the JGP days, like I would used to compete against, like it would every single time it would be like a different Indian kid, right? And
Okay.
back in India, there aren't any rinks. Like they just do rollerblading, right? And they come here, and this is like they rarely ever get time to be at a rink and actually do figure skating.
Yeah.
But level wise, like they're not that high. But the thing is, though, like the faces of these kids when they're like skating,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're just doing double jumps at a JGP against. That was when I like Shoma Uno and Dima Aliyev were winning,
Yeah.
right? They didn't care. They just went out there and they had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually kind of jealous, right?
Really.
They didn't care about what other people were doing. They didn't even have the triples, let alone the quads to compete with. I remember this was Japan, right? Freaking Boyang won, Shoma got second, and Dima Aliyev got third,
That's
right? And I got
intense.
like 10th or below that, something I don't know,
Yeah.
right? And this Indian kid, like obviously I forgot his name. Actually, I still follow him, but like I forgot his
Yeah.
name. And obviously, even if he skates clean for himself, right? He's in dead last, and he's the first kid to compete in the free skate. And my God, this kid goes out there with a smile on his face, and he's just skating because he enjoys it, and he's just having the time of his life. And I think that whenever you hit a wall, you just kind of have to like kind of put things into perspective
Mm-hmm.
and be like, okay, yeah, this may not be the thing that I want to, this may not be where I want to be at right now, but like, I'm here and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And you know what? If it's not going well, might as well just have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really good outlook.
Staying
Yeah.
like present and
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like a lot of skaters actually don't have your outlook. I feel like it is really easy to just compare yourself to everyone, especially at like these senior competitions. Like I can imagine people would be like devastated. So that's really good, and it's good to hear
thank
you have
you.
a really good support network as well. Because like you seem like a nice guy, and even if you didn't have a completely a clean free program, you still sat there smiling in the kiss and cry. It's all good
Mm-hmm.
vibes all the way.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that like competition, I remembered your skate from it. I didn't like I
Yeah,
remembered you at the end with like
so like
the kiss and
personality.
cry and like that personality. And I think that for me is like seeing someone who really was present and was really, enjoying the skating aspect of it. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it is refreshing to see it in a sport that can kind of become a bit repetitive with just like everyone just trying to, reach the top.
Yeah, and one up each
For
other,
sure.
especially.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong though. I still get super duper competitive,
Of course,
but
yeah.
I'm like I have to like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like ground myself. I'm like, dude, shut up and just enjoy it, right?
Mhm.
But like I look at other people, I'm like, you know what? I could do that better, and I'm gonna do it. But then I'm like, okay, Jimmy, you gotta calm your ass down. Just
Yeah, it's
take it
easy
down a
to.
couple of notches.
All right, let's have another one from us. Okay, so everyone has a different pace, and maybe it's different coming from you and a lot of other competitive skaters who started at a young age. But a lot of people are curious: how long did it take you to learn? Generally, just the jumps, so like singles, doubles, triples, quads. Um, how long did it take you to get there? Did you hit any barriers, and like any tips of overcoming these barriers?
So yeah, definitely. I was a slow learner because like when I was still like high school years, I was still very like into other things. Like I was a concert pianist. I was still
Oh,
doing
wow.
school activities. Like, and I wasn't in an environment where like it was super duper highly competitive,
Mhm.
right? So I like I was the frog in the well.
Yeah.
I just saw this. I'm like, oh, this is how big the sky is, and you get out of the well, it's like, oh my god, it's the ocean out here. Um, so there was that. So like I think that kind of impeded my growth in the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas like let's say I started working with like Nikolai Morozov, right? With him, he kind of just like turbocharged my skating from the basics. Like he tore down everything. He was like, "Your skating sucks. Everything sucks. You're skating like a gorilla. Don't work
A
out
gorilla.
anymore."
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. Like we were training in Russia anymore. He's like, "You're not allowed to go to the gym anymore. You can only run. You're only doing dance." And because like I did CrossFit back
Yeah.
then. And so he kind of just tore it down. He's like, "We're relearning your like outside edges. That's what you're doing." I'm like, I'm not arguing with you. And then that kind of propelled me. Started to, like really like triple axel and quad,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't until like I met Miss Olga and Alexei where like they really kind of just gave me a program. They are and they always will be people who I love and respect, um, because they complement each other so well. One just pushes you, and the other is just like so detail oriented, and you kind of need like the best of both worlds. And um, I, in terms of how long it took, like
Yep.
just starting off with Miss Olga and Alexei, like yeah, I had the basics of it, and I kind of thought that I had a good lutz, I had a good flip, like I had a good toe loop, and then they kind of just gave me a couple of pointers and this, that, the other, and that kind of took the level like
Mhm.
just this much higher, and that's when it started, like quad sal, quad lutz, quad flip. They're not
Yeah.
consistent, but I've done them, right? I didn't think I ever would, you know. Um, but in terms of that, I think it's everybody's in a different situation at that point. Whether you start late, start early, you
Yeah, of
know,
course.
you're always welcome to reach out to one of us. Just talk. Maybe not just talk about skating, talk about life, talk about everything. Like I always say to the parents at the rink, like the kids that I teach is like,
Yep.
yeah, like the money's good. I like coaching, like, but I think obviously skating's the priority, but my number two priority isn't actually coaching. It's just being a big brother for these
Mhm.
kids that I want to be somebody that I never had, which is showing them that they are like showing them the world and not the frog in the well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
I never knew that you did coaching. You just do it for like your local rink, or
yeah. So I am a junior coach at the skating club of Boston.
oh
So
right.
it's just money. Well, I'm old now. I got bills to
Yeah.
pay.
Come on, you're not old. All right. Well, shout out. You need a good coach, Jimmy Ma. Who knows?
Thank you, thank you.
Um. Okay, so on the same topic of jumping,
Mhm.
a lot of people, especially nowadays, say that just reaching for the highest score that you can, just by doing quad lots and all of these crazy, crazy combos and jumps in both men and women skating, do you think that that kind of takes away from the artistic side of the sport? Maybe, like, do you feel like people are just prioritizing jumps and nothing else?
Yes and no. I um I respect the grind for
Of course, yeah.
the for quads, right? Um, because with this with sport, you kind of just have to, excuse me, you have to like push the barrier, push the barrier, push the barrier.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why it makes it a very respectable sport, right? Um, but in terms of like, and then there's me who's like more of a performer,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to balance the two because I really enjoy the artistic side of it too. Like you could really put your personality out there. Whenever you see somebody do like they have a great piece of music, but then they don't at least act it out, or maybe it's not the personality, but at least like try to act it out, right?
Yeah.
Or it is their personality, but they're too shy to show it
Mhm.
because they're just too focused on the technical side,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a fine balance.
Yeah.
I never really came to a conclusion of what's more important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's both like sides of the coin for the sport, really. Like we want, well, a lot of people want to see the sport be pushed to its absolute limit. So, like for example, Ilya just landed 4A right in a competition. It's like, is 4A the boundary, or will it be Quints? Oh, Jimmy, he's gone again.
This is
There
what the
you are.
heck is.
You okay?
Yeah, I don't know, but my computer keeps on glitching out. But yeah, you were
That's
talking about
okay. So
Ilias.
yeah, so I was saying, so 4A has just been landed. Pretty sure Quints are coming next. Um, what do you personally think will be the top?
Uh,
Like Quint Axel? Like I can't imagine that happening. No,
that's dangerous. That's
that's
dangerous. Like
dangerous.
with Ilya, like that kid is just he is built for this. He is talented and
Yeah,
like he is built for this, right? He's got that perfect body and all that stuff. It that's the thing. Like I don't want people saying like, oh, just like that is the only thing that I have to strive for. Look at
mm-hmm.
freaking
Mhm.
Jason Brown, right?
For sure.
I don't
Yeah,
think yeah, I don't think he's ever actually landed clean quad in a competition, like ratified clean. I may be wrong on that,
really.
right? Yeah, yeah. And as his competitor, it always pissed me off that like, I'm doing quads and stuff like that and he's still getting higher scores.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And then I get to see him skate at like look like it makes me mad, but I understand because the dude is just a good skater.
yeah, he's an
And then
amazing
it is
skater.
exemplified when I watched him literally I've watched him front row at Stars on Ice. And I'm like,
Oh
Mhm.
this
yeah.
guy is great. Like I never appreciated it when I was competing against him,
Mm-hmm.
and now that I'm just watching him perform, I'm like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And and then actually, I don't I watched some of the test skates, right?
Yeah.
And the girls who are like who used to just be doing quads, they're simplifying the programs and they're doing beautiful skating, like better than before, right?
Yeah.
And without like
Less mistakes.
without without mistakes or without the high risk of injury, they could really let themselves go.
Yeah.
And actually, it was pretty interesting for me to watch, right? Yeah, like if they were landing every quad in the book, I'd be like, yo, this is
It's
this is
impressive.
insane.
Yeah.
But if they mess it up, then it's like,
Yeah. I suppose
right,
that's where the recent GOE changes come, right? So like landing a triple triple perfectly, you get +5 GOEs. It's actually higher than landing a quad that isn't super good. So people like Jason Brown, who isn't the most quad type of guy,
No.
but has amazing skating and amazing landing and transitions and combinations. It's like crazy. I feel like people like him are definitely going to have a higher shot at it now with these recent changes.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about recent changes, there were some recent changes to I think it was sequences and jumps, so like you can do an axle now
Yeah.
off of a
Hmm.
in a sequence, and you get full value. So are you thinking of changing up any programs for that, or has your program been tailored to kind of go
I
towards
can't
these
even
changes?
do. I can't do double axle anymore.
You can't do
so
double axle.
That one's out the door from me. Yeah.
Oh, gone. Okay.
It's fun.
All right.
Yeah, but I think for what you were talking about before when you mentioned like kind of Jason Brown, it just kind of got me thinking like we can push the sport from like a jumping perspective, but we can also continue to like push it through like an artistic perspective. Sorry.
It's my coach.
Oh, that's all
Hold
right.
on.
Take it. Take it.
Oh, I could take. Can I take
Yeah,
it?
don't worry.
Yeah,
Hold
that's
on.
all right. You don't need to show that.
Hi, Miss Olga. We were actually just talking about you. Yeah, I'm doing a podcast right now. They're talking about my skating, and I'm like, oh yeah,
Hello.
Miss Olga. She's the meanest coach ever.
Are you serious?
No, of course not. Look
No.
at her.
Are
Look,
you with Misha?
no, he's at the rink. Look at her name on my phone. That's her mom.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, no, I'm not with Misha. Bye bye. I'm sorry. I
No, that's
apologize.
No, that's
fine.
okay.
That's okay. Coach comes first. You don't want to ignore your coach.
It's Olga.
Is she- You okay?
Yeah, she
Okay.
just literally calls me and hangs up.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So you were talking
what
about
were you saying?
like pushing the sport
Yeah,
artistically.
just pushing it not only from like a jumping perspective, but also like in like men and women's from an artistic perspective as well. And like I guess with David is saying like with the changes in the GOE, like do you think that there are ways that the like kind of judging could be more favorable towards pushing like artistic sides? Or like what's your opinion?
That's difficult
You
because
don't want
it's
to annoy
very
the judges.
What's that?
You don't want to annoy the judges if they're listening.
Yeah. No, it's old dog. I'm okay.
Okay.
It's difficult because it's such a subjective sport,
Yeah.
right? Like I could walk out there, I could do nothing wrong, right? And like some judges I just don't like the cut of his jib, or like I don't like his music, I don't like his hair, I don't like that's the very difficult part. In basketball, you score a 3-pointer and it's a 3-pointer. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
You scored the points. So that's very difficult. That's why, like, a lot of times for me, I kind of cater to the audience more.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
For
Like,
sure,
I
yeah.
respect the judges, but I try to skate for the audience. Because, I mean, between you and I, technically, they're the one that, pay for everything.
Yeah.
Technically.
That's true. They pay for the seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also
yeah.
like sponsorships.
And sponsors, yeah, everything like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like as you guys ice dancers, right? Like for us single skaters to just completely forget about working on our twizzles, does it like?
Yes. Go on. It is easy to do.
Yeah, but like that's the thing though. Like we kind of just think a lot of the times we just think about jumping, and we don't even work on having good edges or like a toe point.
Yeah.
Right?
And
I
that gets
fall into
points
that
as
trap
well.
as well. What's that?
Like that gets points as well, having good edges and good footwork and everything. Like it is part of the required components, I suppose. Good spins
Yeah.
and that. Like my god, some of Yuzuru's spins are amazing. What's his name? He's like my favorite spinner.
Oh, the guy that Tara was coached by.
Yeah. Oh.
Stefan.
Stefan Lambio.
Stefan Lambio.
My god, he's like the spinning god. Like his
Yeah,
spins are amazing, and like anyone should look up to him for spinning. To be honest, he can spin both
Oh.
ways as well. Like it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Um, okay,
Um,
we have
like
Oh, sorry, go on.
yeah, no, I just want to actually give a shout out to like her name's Sonia, right? She
Yeah.
just kind of like broke out into senior and stuff like that, right? Technically not as high up as somebody like you know Valieva or anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
my goodness gracious, her programs are so freaking interesting. She's the girl that does Sal one way, Sal the other way. I don't know. If you
Oh,
saw
I
it.
saw that.
really?
I saw that. Yeah. Wow.
Shout out to her.
That's
She
awesome.
and she like makes her own costumes. She like choreographs her own program. Like this girl just knows how to perform. And I'm like, damn, it is really interesting watching her skate.
Yeah.
She's not doing quad lutz triple toe, right? But screw that. This is good programming to watch.
Yeah, it's like someone who skates for skating. That's cool.
Yeah.
Actually, you mentioned costumes. You've got some pretty interesting ones yourself. What goes on behind the scenes there? Do you have any input, or do you just get given it?
I have basically I just tell Yumi I like simple.
Okay.
Right? Simple but sharp. And that's it. And then she's like, I got it. And then she goes ahead and makes my black swan, makes it beautiful as hell. And I'm like, I like it. I don't know. I'm like, I just want simple. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna dye it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna blend it. Just a splash of stones, and she
Wow.
was true to her word on that. Like I kind of like I want it to look good, but I still want it to look athletic and comfortable. You know?
Yeah. At the same time.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because that is like I feel like that's a lot of the part of the sport and the programs that people don't really talk about much. It's like, oh, this costume's good, but like, who's actually making it behind the scenes? You know, like we don't have a credits where we can see like, oh, this person's really good at making costumes. Like, I want them to make my costume. Like, I feel like, well, as I said, some of yours are very pretty good.
Thank you.
Well,
They like
Thank
stand
you.
out.
they stand out compared to some other skaters. I won't name who are just like in a shirt and pants. That I feel like everyone's had a shirt and pants program. No.
Me too. Me
For
too.
sure.
Hey, I mean, shout out to Yumi then because she's good. They are hardworking people, especially during the summer. Ooh,
Yeah.
When those orders come in.
It's go time.
Oh yeah.
All right. We have a question from Entity. What is one thing you'd urge every skater to practice religiously?
Outside edges.
Outside edges, not inside. They
Good.
don't matter.
Well, inside edges are easier than
Okay.
outside, but like, fine. Outside edges, you need edge work. Edge work and control. How to control them.
Mhm.
I guess.
Okay. You mentioned your
Yeah.
coach did completely rework your edges, which really helped. So, but
Mhm.
that's where that's coming from.
Yeah.
The edges,
for
they're
sure.
super important. They're the base of everything. You know, you go into a jump, you're using your edges, spins, edges, step sequences, obviously edges, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what
Okay.
happens when you know ice dance coaches, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Am I right?
All right. One question from A Love Heart. How come you started skating?
Oh, this is interesting story.
Oh, okay.
It's my friend's 8th birthday.
Oh,
Name's
we-
Jack. We still sometimes keep in touch, right?
Okay.
And I saw everybody was having fun. I thought it was easy. So I just went on and I fell on my face. And my mom, I cried like the biggest bitch ever. I was just wailing. And my mom, like, obviously my mom felt bad.
Yeah.
Right? She was there for me. But like, obviously, like she kind of wanted to teach me a lesson too. Is like, you fall in life, you kind of have to get back up, right?
Of
And also,
course,
like,
yeah.
literally speaking, like, he's like, Jimmy, you can't, like, you need to get out of your comfort zone. Like you just gotta like you can't be that kid that like cries when a mosquito bites you, right? So you just gotta do it,
Yeah.
right? So like being the Asian mom that she was, she just signed me up for another activity.
Yeah. Like you're getting good at
Blair
this
knows
now.
what's up.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
So then you just continued going from there.
yeah, so it was kind of like added into the activities of like tennis, swimming. Like swimming was a big thing for me back then as well.
Yeah.
But I'm quite vertically challenged, so
Vertically challenged.
swimming.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Even though I was good, I just like that had to like whittle out when everybody started hitting
Yeah.
puberty, and me too. But I stayed the same height.
Not the best for swimming, but for skating, it's a different story, you know.
Yeah, it's good for skating.
Okay, so you've just kind of always like, what made you choose skating? Or was it that height difference? We're just like, okay, I'm too short to do anything else.
Not really. Like
No.
I think it was a. Oh, sorry. It was a little mixture of like I really dug the athletic and artistic side.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
it's quite funny because my mom was quite athletic as a kid, and
Mm-hmm.
my dad's side of the family is like they're more artistic, right? And I think that was just like a really like I don't know, it's just pure happenstance that I kind of enjoy both.
Yeah.
Like I was a concert pianist and I really enjoyed playing the piano, but I have no patience of practicing piano. Um, I would my allotted time for practice would be 6 hours, and I probably get like three and a half in,
Right.
optimistically. Right? So it pissed my mom off so much, but I'm like, it's just me, mom. I can't do anything about it. So I
Yeah, you
knew
can't
that
help it what you like, right?
yeah. So like piano was just like it just I I I I couldn't sit down, and I guess that I guess figure skating kind of satiated all of my
Mm-hmm.
wants and my needs,
Yep.
and it just so happens that I'm not that tall. So it kind of worked out for me, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I mean, we all love your artistic side just as much as the technical. Like, it's
Thank
impressive,
you.
honestly. But okay. We have a question from Poppy. A couple more from the pre-defined questions, and then we'll go to the live Q&A.
For sure.
So one from Poppy. Are you going to do any other Daft Punk or electronica programs in the future? Must have been a fan of that program.
Yeah, definitely. I don't
For
know when,
sure.
if I find the right piece, I
Yeah.
definitely will. I don't even know why I decided. Oh, it's actually kind of funny why I decided to skate to that, but it's
How,
like it. I definitely will. It was just so
definitely.
basically what
That's a
happened
promise.
was I went to Montreal
Yeah.
to go work with Sam Chenard,
Okay.
and we were just dancing together, and we kind of like came up with a basic program, and it was a piece that I liked, but I didn't like absolutely. I wasn't like in love with it. Like I didn't feel the music. Like it was good music. It was just like I like it didn't hit for me. And then
Yeah.
one day I was just like I was listening to some music while I was skating, and I decided to just skate along to it. And I did my footwork to Kanye West's "Stronger," and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm hitting every single beat. I'm changing the music, and I'm getting it recut, and then I'm gonna see what else I could put with it. And then I'm like, oh, I found uh, I found this remix of "Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger" on YouTube. Well, I'm just gonna use that and put it together, and that's all she wrote.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so it is a real. It's not just like you get a program at the start of the season. You just carry on with that. Like it's like more like I suppose in the off season it's like you're just playing around with just different types of music. So you said you weren't totally in love with any type, so you just kind of had to search a bit.
Yeah.
Is there a story behind the two programs you have now, the short and free?
So, like I said, it was just okay. So the like kind of like free program was just I had an idea. I didn't know what I wanted, and I literally like I spoke to Adam about it, and I'm like, this is I just have to it. I want it to be grand, right? Like I don't care if
Yeah.
it's dubstep. I don't care whatever. I just want it to be big, right? But there are certain things that sound good in the headphone and not so
Yeah.
good
Don't
in an
yeah,
arena. So like like it took a while to just like select uh, just going through what I had in my library, asking my best friend, like she's like a music connoisseur, right? She that's what she called herself, but whatever,
Okay.
right? But like she gives me
Self-defined.
a lot of good pieces of music, and it's like it's good, like one of my favorite pieces of music that I listen to, and then I try to do choreography to it on the ice, and I'm like I'm not feeling it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's fair
then
enough, right?
yeah, and then Adam pulls out Volcano by Woodkid, and I'm like, that's it.
Done.
That's what I'm doing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. It is actually nice from like watching these competitions, like that nowadays it isn't just all classical. It's like more fun music. You got the dubstep, you've got the Daft Punk, but at the same time you also have these like more classical, which also fit in. Like, I suppose, like, what's your opinion on that? Like, are you glad that like they've introduced lyrics finally to like the competition?
No, for sure. Look, diversity is just it's the spice of life, right?
Of course.
Like if everybody freaking skated to Turn Down for What or something similar, nobody would want to watch figure skating either, right? Like it'd
Yeah.
be too muddled. Some people just like eh, eh, you they just wouldn't be able to skate to it, right? Like you got to play to your strengths, right? I
Hmm.
wouldn't be able to skate to some pieces of music that Jason would, and he probably wouldn't want to skate to Turn Down for What, right? Like
Yeah.
it's two different things, and he does his thing. It like you know the saying, right? Like you are the something about you being the only you. Like you can only
Mhm.
be you, whatever.
Of course.
Audience,
Yes.
you get the point.
Originality, you know.
Yes. You be
Yeah.
yourself. You do what you enjoy.
Like feeling the music, especially, is important, and it's very like an individual thing.
Yeah, and you'll have a
Yeah.
better skate, right? Especially from the artistic side, if you like the music that you're doing.
Wow.
I assume like maybe training it every day, it gets a bit repetitive. But yeah, it's important to like it. So
Oh, for sure.
we're actually gonna get our last question. That's predefined, and then we'll go on to our more open mic for 10 minutes.
For sure. For sure.
Last one from Lucas. Lucas is asking, what is your favorite jump, and when did you land your first quad?
Favorite jump, either there's probably Lutz or
Okay.
Axel, triple Axel,
Yeah.
and I mean to put into like the contrast, my least favorite jump is loop. That jump
It's a
is
lot of that seems to be a common least favorite. At the same time, Lutz is really like you kind of love it or you hate it.
hmm But screw loop. That is whoever invented that. I have words for you.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
with
All
the
right.
I'm sorry, I'm just got my headphones running out of battery. Give me a second.
That's okay.
With when did I land my first quad? I
Yeah.
landed it in 2017.
All
5 years
right.
ago, I think. Yeah, it's pretty old.
Yeah. I mean, of course, nowadays, like I feel like people are landing their first quads at like 15, so that's a bit different.
Yeah, late bloomer, I guess.
Oh, it's all right. We still love you. It's cool. Okay. We're gonna go to our open mic now. So,
let's go.
if someone would like in the Q&A channel, oh, of course. Okay. So just for other people in the Q&A channel, just write that you've got a question. Maybe write a question. We'll unmute you, and you can ask Jimmy if you'd like. So Tara, I'm gonna be unmuting you, and you can go ahead and ask Jimmy a question. Welcome.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You're all good?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Since you mentioned cooking, I wanted to ask about like nutrition and like if you meal prep or like take a different approach, because I know with like a high training volume, it can be really hard to keep on top of that, and I'm just kind of fascinated by it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I do work with I do work with a nutritionist from US Figure Skating, but the thing is though, like, I think like making your own food is already like big step one,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you know exactly what you're putting in, how much oil, like how much oil you're putting in, what kind of foods, like you know, like as long as you wash your freaking vegetables and your and your fruits and like you cook your meat to a certain like temperature, I think you're gonna be like physically okay, right? And getting that in, and I think it's just kicking yourself in the ass and saying like, okay, just do it, do the dishes. I promise it's gonna like after a couple of weeks, it's gonna get into a routine. It's gonna feel good, and I think that's the biggest hump to get over. And then obviously with the training schedule is really difficult. Misha and I can't meal prep because we eat so much that we just end up we can't meal prep, right? So like air fryer is your best friend. Air fryer definitely is your best friend.
I hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
I hear a lot of praise for the air fryer.
Oh, he's gone.
Jimmy's gone. He's back.
Okay, let's get back in
Okay.
here.
Welcome back, Jimmy.
Join the chat again. I don't know what the heck is going
You're
on.
here. Just hit your webcam.
Can you see me?
There you
Yep,
are. We
you're all
see
good.
you. Welcome back. Okay.
Perfect.
Does anyone have any questions for Jimmy they would like?
Oh yeah, first of
to
all,
ask?
Tara, did you have any more questions, or
Oh yeah, go
you're
for it.
welcome to ask all of them, because I noticed you posted a few. I think we might have to unmute. Oh, okay, no.
We was wondering if you had any more questions for Jimmy, Tara, or
Sarah?
all right.
It's alright, we can go on to the next and come back.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right, Tara. No worries. Okay, Fairy, would you like to ask your question over voice, or would you prefer us to ask?
You're unmuted now, so you can.
Yeah, feel free to unmute and ask.
What's your favorite program, like from any discipline?
Favorite program? I got a
Oh.
couple. Daisuke Takahashi 2008 Cyber Swan. That was dope. There was
Cyberswan.
yeah, that was that's kind of, I think that's what really kind of kicked off people like modernizing the
Mhm.
sport a little bit more in terms of music. The Tessa and Scott's Moulin Rouge.
Classic.
I think that's the sexiest program to ever hit the ice, like ever.
Yep.
So it's, oh my god, I blush every single. Patrick Chan, I definitely would say, that Chopin, that Chopin program that
Yep.
he did, I think in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was dope. I mean, his free program was insane as well, but that Chopin one was just like. And then I guess I would say he didn't get to perform it much, but bro, when Nathan, like, I remember watching him do it for the first time. His that Mozart program. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but my goodness
Yeah.
gracious, when he did that last footwork sequence, I skated after him at Skate America, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watched him on purpose just so I could catch greatness on the ice because that footwork was amazing.
I'm
So
surprised you watched the skaters beforehand. Like, isn't that like usually you just want to kind of be in your own zone?
yes and no. Like
Or you
I'm
like
a
taking
little
your peek?
competitive as well. Like
Oh,
it kind of
okay.
like if the person ahead of me like skates well, I'm like because I trained with him before, right? Like he
Yeah.
skates well, and I'm like I want to do it too.
I gotta do
Maybe
that.
not at your level, but I want to do it too.
Yeah.
But holy cow, that program! Like I really, really, really like that program and Rocket Man, but Mozart definitely.
I love Rocket Man. That was a good program.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's actually have our last question. Sorry about that, guys, but we do have a time slot. Okay. We'll have the last one from Chenlove. Quite a light-hearted question. Actually, Chenlove is not in the voice chat. I'll ask it, and we'll have one more actual voice question. Which I think I know. Jimmy, do you like Genshin Impact?
I do. I do.
You do?
I haven't played it in a while,
Okay.
but it's definitely it's a good time. It's a good time, and also I have a lot invested into it as well. So let's just
God, I
leave it
don't
at
want to
that.
see your account. Okay.
Alright, do you wanna do?
Let's try to find
There's
someone
a
in the
bunch
call.
more.
Yeah.
Wait, that we missed. Would you mind answering like a few more? Even though we.
I don't mind.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers. Okay. Tara actually has another question. So go ahead and unmute Tara. Actually, you're still unmuted. So go ahead and unmute yourself.
Would you consider it more difficult to choreograph to like the kind of music that you tend to skate to, or like sort of quote unquote traditional classical music?
I think it would be more like with the modern hip hoppy type, just because if you don't hit the beats, then there's no point. You might as well be skating to generic music anyways. With classical, I think it's a little more forgiving, right?
Really?
If you miss it, you can maybe like extend a little bit longer or something like that. But if you really want to skate to something modern, it takes a lot of it. Not just the choreography, but the timing matters, but also like energy and
Mm-hmm.
the way you carry yourself. I think that like that's what will make it difficult because if you don't have if all those things don't like add up, I don't think that as a spectator you really feel the gravity of what you're trying like the spectator will not feel the gravity of what you're trying to do.
Oh, sorry, Tara. I was actually under the impression that more modern and fast-paced music was easier to like kind of make a mistake on the beat. You know, you can just kind of like go to the next one. Like that's interesting from your perspective.
Yeah,
You find
because like with
classical easier.
like no, there's definitely like there is wiggle room in it.
Yeah.
There are like pros and cons to each, but like let's say for me like um for example when I do the Daft Punk program, right?
Daft Punk.
It, like with the Kanye West at the end. Like if I missed, okay, the turn down for what, right? Like if I missed that and I didn't have the energy for that, and
Right.
like let's say I was just a little bit late, there wouldn't be that effect,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes when if you do something to a lyric, the choreography would have less of an impact with if you miss the lyric or something like that. So I guess it's not just the choreography, but it's also kind of the performer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting to see your perspective of it. Thank you very much, Tara.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you
Okay,
for answering.
question from Prozac. You are muted. Go ahead.
Um, how do you handle the cost of skating like professionally?
So right now I do get some funding from US Figure Skating, which kind of offsets a lot of the actual skating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The rest, like, living, like having a roof over my head and having food to eat, like
That's
the
important.
basic necessities, like, insurance and all that stuff is I coach. Um, like this year I kind of made it my goal. I'm like, okay, it's a new quad. I'm like, I don't want my old man to pay for anything. Like if he wants like if he wants to help, great. And he's been trying to help, but I'm like, I don't want to like go out there and ask. So like I kind of just tried and I try and like coach as much as I can just to keep my head above the water so, I don't get my car repoed, you know.
Yeah, that's important. Okay. It's interesting. Like, how do you like manage all like finances and everything, but also like your coaching job with all this traveling while you compete?
It's not easy. I reckon it's not just for like figure skating. I reckon like any like young man, young woman to
Yeah.
actually write that. Like I didn't know until I actually wrote it down. Right? When you write down everything, how much you want to spend for food, for
Oh no.
gas,
Yeah.
for
People can
everything,
relate.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you know. Right? And I'm no finance guru or anything, but like that's a good first step into saying like, okay, this is what I have, this is what I have to work with, and this is what I have to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
think like starting off like that really helps, and then like how how much you're willing to do. Because like in off season, I was coaching like 6 a.m. and then I would train a little bit, and then I would coach for like 4 or 5 hours in the afternoon. I can't do
Yeah.
that now, obviously, but off season, I was at the rink for a long time.
Yeah. And like juggling your training in between those like coaching sessions as well, like that's intense.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, for me, I I have I have to eat.
Yeah, of course. Okay, very last one from a very much loved member of our community, Wild Child.
Oh,
Um,
child.
he is a very interesting person. Skates with guards on. Um, yeah, you should talk to him. Honestly, look at his YouTube channel. It is insane. Anyway, go on, Wild Child.
Hey, have you ever considered any like custom blades, like the ones that what's his name is Michael Weiss has, or anything like that?
Custom blades. Maybe after when I'm done skating. I just did a show in St. Louis, and there was this one guy. I forgot his name. I got his contact info, but like he was like doing a lot of things with like putting an extra blade on his boot or like cutting it short, like a lot of things, right?
Oh,
So that definitely interests me. It's just like not right now, cause
yeah.
yeah, it's just not right now.
Okay.
I feel like if you want to talk to someone who does that, it's a Wild Child is also a heavy modifier of skates.
And blades
Wild Child.
and
Nice.
all of
Yeah,
that stuff.
he makes like what is it, he has a hydro blade contraption he made.
It's like assist with
Oh, yeah.
hydro blades.
It's crazy.
And
Yeah.
I think he's like was like a rocket powered like blade or something to assist
Oh
with
yeah,
jumps.
I wanna do that one day.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, that's dope.
Okay.
That's dope.
Oh, right. Thank you very much, Wild Child. And thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for
Wow.
having me.
I think we have to end it here, but honestly, it's been fantastic talking to you. Exact same energy, vibes, personality as I've seen, on the TV. So it's been really fun to talk to you.
I appreciate you guys having me. No, it's good to talk to people, try to spread the love, right? To
Yeah,
not just elite athletes, but just people in general. More people come watch, the better it is for everybody.
Mhm,
Right.
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. And that's what this show's all about, right? It's just for community and fans just to talk to the favorite skaters in a positive environment and not Twitter. So
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank
There
you.
we
No,
are.
seriously, thank you guys for that. And actually, like, thank you for like being who you guys are. Like, you're really chill people, and what you're doing is actually really, really freaking good for the community.
all right, thank you.
Oh, thank you too. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, it kind of fits together as well. Like, you know, you skate for yourself, and you know, you work towards your goals, and you continue to do it in kind of like a non, like, you know, in not a negative way, in a positive way.
Exactly.
And so yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, you're also welcome. You might want to check out the Q&A channel just after this if there was any questions that you wanted to respond to but didn't get the opportunity to.
For sure.
It'll just be up there still.
Yeah, you just write in text chat.
Awesome.
For
Thank you
anyone
guys
watching
for
this
having me.
after, you can watch the YouTube video. There will be a Discord link for this server in the description, and you can come and join no matter your level. If you're a beginner, we have a beginner section, advice, tips, even for people on the caliber of senior skaters such as Jimmy. We have the verified chat. Spoilers for people who can't see it. That's for our competitive folks. So no matter who you are,
Yeah, you're very welcome here.
come and join us. Honestly.
Anyways, thank you so much, Jimmy.
Thank you.
All right, it was good talking to you. We'll see you
For
later.
sure. Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye.